Okay, we're on Pesachim, Perek Hey, Mishnah Aleph. First Mishnah, chapter 5 of Pesachim. And for the next couple of prakim, couple of chapters, we're going to talk about the Korbanot, specifically Korban Pesach. So our Mishnah begins with the notion of the Korban Tamid. Korban Tamid was, and when the Korban Tamid is important to know, because then we know when we can do the Korban Pesach. So as many people do, or you don't know, there are two Korbanot Tamid. There's a Korban Tamid Shel Boker, and Korban Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim. Boker in the morning, it was the first Korban offered in the morning, and the Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim was the last Korban. Let's read the Bartanura for a second. Okay? Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim. So this is the afternoon Korban Tamid. Nishchat kol sha'ar yemot hashana b'shmona umechza. It was shechted all the rest of the year in 8.5 hours, shmona umechza. Okay, remember we're talking about sha'ot zmaniyot. So here you have a chart, which starts at 6 a.m. is here, and 6 p.m. is here. And the chart is divided into days. Now this I took from Masechet Brachot, and you're going to see that the time of Mincha Gedola is 6.5 hours, half an hour into the 6th hour, and Mincha Ketana is 9.5 hours. Is right at the beginning is 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 15:30. Let's make sure that's right. Yeah, that didn't look right. 9.5 hours. 15:30. It's 9 and a half. This is the 9th hour. Okay. 6th hour, 7th hour, 8th hour, 9th hour, and a half. That's 9.5 hours. That's Mincha Ketana. We're going to use this chart. These are called Sha'ot Zmaniyot, as you well know, that they're the day divided into 12 equal distant hours. Here we are. Okay, so every day, Zman Shchita Tamid, the time of the Shchita, of the slaughtering of the Korban Tamid, is from Yinatut Sililei Erev, when it begins to turn into the afternoon. Shu Mishesh Sha'ot Umechza Ulamala. That's 6.5 hours. Let's go back here. We're going to go, there we go. 6.5 hours. And that's also, you'll notice, Mincha Gedola. That's the earliest time you can have a Mincha. So this is midday. And half an hour after that, that's 6.5. 6.5, that's 6.5 hours. And that's when the earliest time that they would slaughter, they could offer the Shchita, they could slaughter the Korban Tamid. Okay? Shechatziyo, 6.5, he omeda be'emsa rakia, because halfway between 6 and 7, the sun is in the middle of the rakia, ve'ein tzel noteh ela tzel adam tachtav, and when up till 6.5 hours, okay, from half till the 6th hour till half the 7th hour, the sun is directly above you. Okay, and then so that's the rule normally. Okay, so normally the earliest you can do it is 6.5 hours. But the Mishnah says tamid nishchat b'shmoneh umachza, but we delay the b'shechting of the Korban Tamid because it's slaughtered at 8.5 hours. V'karev b'teisha umechza. Let's go back to our chart. Okay. You could do it here, but they really slaughtered it here, and they offered it here. Okay, I should. That's what the Mishnah says. That's add in the chart. And here we go. Okay, on a normal day, Tamid Ragil. Okay, Nishchat b'shemot v'mechza. They slaughtered it on the 8.5 hour, and they brought it in the 9.5 hour. And the reason they did this is the following. The Bartanura says the reason is the following. Achrin shchitato shtei shaot achar zmano. They would wait to slaughter it 2 hours after its time. Because of the nidarim and nidavot, meaning the other korbanot that people wanted to offer. The people came to on a regular day the Beit Hamikdash. They brought a ton of korbanot. You cannot offer that. The Korban Tamid, the Tamid Shel Bein Ha'arbayim, has to be the last korban that is offered during the day. That's it. As it says, it says you should offer on it the chelbei shlamim, the fast of the shlamim. Alolata taboker hashlem kol korbanot kulo. You should finish all the korbanot on the olata boker. Shelo yeh davar meuchar letamid shel bein ha'arbayim. The Chazal learn out nothing can be after the Korban Tamid. So therefore, even though they could slaughter it here, nonetheless, so you see 6.5 hours, they wait 2 hours to slaughter it till 8.5, and then they slaughter it at 9.5. 9.5 is the very latest they could slaughter it. That's the latest they would do, and that's called Mincha Ketana, as we've seen. Back to the Mishnah. Okay, that's on a normal day. Tamid yishchat b'shmona umechza, v'kareh b'teisha umechza. Be'arvei Pesachim, but on Erev Pesach, the problem is that Erev Pesach, the Korban Pesach comes after the Korban Tamid. Meaning, no, we just said the rule that nothing comes after the Korban Tamid, Ben Ha'arbayim, the afternoon Korban Tamid. That's true, except for the Korban Pesach, because the Korban Pesach is an evening Korban. It's connected to Pesach. So on Erev Pesach, Nishchat b'sheva umachza, v'karev ben shmona umachza, ben b'chol, ben b'shabbat. They would slaughter the animal at 7.5 hours and offer it at 8.5 hours, whether it was during a weekday or Shabbat? Let's put it in the chart. Okay, here we have it in the chart. On Erev Pesach, whether it's on a weekday or on Shabbat, since you have to do all the Korban Pesach and slaughter all the Korbanot, therefore, you have to slaughter an hour early. They move it up till Sheva v'mechza, 7.5 hours into the 8th hour, and Karei b'shmona mechza, and they brought the Korban Pesach, and then they had all this time until the evening to do all the Korban Pesach. They needed more time. So since instead of having just 2.5 hours, they had 3.5 hours. The Mishnah continues. We're going to finish. But Chal Erev Pesach liot Erev Shabbat. If Erev Pesach fell on Erev Shabbat, Nishchat b'shesh u'mechza v'kareh b'sheva u'mechza v'Pesach acharav. Then they would do the slaughtering at 6.5 hours. Here, 6.5 hours. They would do Nishchat b'shesh u'mechza. Let's just copy it. Okay, Nishchat b'shesh u'mechza, and then they would Kareh b'sheva u'mechza. They would bring it at 7.5 hours. Why? 7.5 hours. That's right. 7.5 hours right here. But that's Sheva Omechsa. And the reason why they would do this is for a simple reason. It's because that's if this is Erev Pesach. We're going to make this together. Okay. Let's say Erev Pesach be'erev Shabbat. And the reason is as follows. Since it's Erev Shabbat, you can't cook the Pesach on Shabbat. You can't do it at night. So therefore, you have to have enough time from here, instead of having this much time, from 8.5 hours, you have from 7.5 hours, because you have to have enough time for everyone to bring their Korban Pesach and cook it. It has to be cooked. Let's look at the Bartunera for a second. Okay, Shabbat. The ikana mitzliyata Pesach, you have to roast it. Delo dachya Shabbat. You can't cook on Shabbat. And you have to roast it before the day comes. You make it even more. Okay, and you bring it back to the original din. Remember we said 6.5 hours. The earliest you could do it is 6.5. On Erev Pesach, that's Erev Shabbat. That's when Nishchat b'shesh u'mechza, as the original din allows, and that's when you make it as early as possible. And then Kareh b'sheva v'mechza, you bring it at 7:30 because it takes an hour to prepare. Pesach acharav, and then you bring the Korban Pesach. Long Mishnah, well, not so long, but a little bit confusing. I hope this wasn't too confusing for you. We'll stop here. Dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha B'Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.